I hope it's not. But if you're watching this, chances are your business is nothing more than a gooey mess. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back once again to the Orange office in Grants Pass, Oregon. Today we are going to be going over number 2 of the 3 pillars that I deal with here at brianjpombo.com. Number 1 pillar we talked about last time. You can go back and watch that video. You'll see hopefully you'll see a link down below. Hint, hint to the producer, Sean E. Douglas. Hopefully he gets that down. Oh, hi Sean, I can see you're watching. Make sure you get that link down there to the first video. If not, you should be able to find it on any of our social media platforms. But the second pillar is no lesser or greater than the other one. You definitely can't live without it. This next one is the one thing that most businesses miss, and it's the reason why most business owners are completely stuck on their business and a slave to their business and a slave to the whims of it. And oftentimes they find themselves constantly being dragged along, forced to do things you don't want to do. It all comes back to this same thing, folks. You're not systems-based enough. My second pillar is being system-based. It's about having systems in place, both for yourself personally and for your business as a whole. Systems that run the business. A good business needs a heart, it needs a soul, it needs a good leader in charge. But beyond that, it needs to be a machine. It needs to have pieces that are constantly in motion. While the owner or executives are asleep, that business needs to have functionality to it. We think of this really simply in terms of a website, because websites are always up. They're 24/7. In most cases, I can't think of a case where you would have a website where it would go down at night the same time that the business hours closed. Your website's up all the time. So is the rest of your business up at the same time? Is your website even functioning at a point to where it can bring in new business? Where if nothing else, it's at least getting your message out there and getting a person closer and closer and closer to becoming a client or a customer. So let's deal with the 2 areas of system-based. One's personal. So when it comes to personal, it's very similar to how the business should run, but you just got to bring it down to yourself. And one of the main things that business owners and executives do not do well is scheduling. You need to have scheduling in process. You need to rule your calendar. I have a video on that. You can check that out. That was from last month. The other thing you need is really proper habits. All these things can be put into place into the structure of your business to encourage these things to occur for you. These things shouldn't be a big weight on you more than a short period of time, more than a month or 2. You shouldn't be worried about developing the habit. You shouldn't be worried about developing scheduling processes. These should be things that you put into place, and once they're put into place, they work for you. They provide something to you on the long run. That's the whole point of systems. They're not meant to be something that's hard. They're only hard to set up. After they're put in place, they make your whole life easier. They make your employees' lives easier. Everything works better with a system. So let's take it to the company-wide view. What do you really need there? Well, you got to look at the end goal. My main end goal with most of my clients is to build a business that has a passive income source, that it works as an asset. It works as something that adds to their lives, both in money, but also in everything that it provides them. It should be giving more back to you versus taking more away. And that doesn't mean it's taking away from anybody else. It means if it's giving more to you, it's giving more to your customers, it's giving more to your clients, it's giving more to your employees. It's giving out to everybody because it's systemized to do that. It's a machine that produces good things. It shouldn't be bearing down on everybody as some type of dictator, okay? That's how a system works. So I'm going to talk about a very simple concept. You may have already seen this if you've been involved in network marketing or you've gone to real estate seminars or anything in the last 20 years, chances are you've run across this. A guy named Robert Kiyosaki came up with a concept called the cashflow quadrant. Okay, if you haven't seen this, and of course, I have the one dead marker. So let's think fast, Brian. Let's think fast. Oh, we've got some Post-it notes here. Let's see if we can write it on a Post-it note. Okay. I'm going to draw this out for you. It's a quadrant. It has 3 letters in it. E, S, B, and I. Let's see if you can see that. Can you see it? Yes, it works. Okay. E, S, B, and I. E is employees. These are different ways of making money. If you're making money on a regular basis because of work output, I'm not talking about welfare or anything of that sort. I'm talking about work output. You're making money back from it on a regular basis. You're either making it as an employee, you're self-employed, you're an investor, or you're a business owner. The way he divides self-employed and business owner is self-employed is a person that is trading time for money. Their money is directly related to the time they put into the business. They may own the business, but the business kind of owns them, because as soon as they stop putting in the time, they stop making the money. A business owner is a person who, the way he defines it, it's a bigger business. They have a business that runs on its own. It's not dependent on their time. Yeah, they add value to their business, but it's not dependent on them. An investor is a person who you actually put money into someone else's system, and that pays you back over time. So a business owner or investor are people that make money from systems. Employee obviously is a person that works for somebody else. You put in time, you make money, and you stop putting in time, you stop making the money. So you could be a high-end employee, you could be a low-end employee, but the same thing's true. The people on this side are tied to the time to money thing. The people on this side are dependent on a system, and it's not dependent on time. It's a huge difference here. So the difference between these two sides here is about 95% of everyone's over on this side, and about 5% of everyone else is about on this side. Give or take. I mean, it all depends on who's counting, but it's a huge difference. A huge amount of the wealth is made on this side, though, as opposed to this side over here. These people are always tied to time for money, and it's very difficult to get out of that paradigm. When they retire, they have a very tough time. Passive income is created on that right-hand side, on the B and the I side. That's the magic. The whole idea is to get your business to that big B concept, to get it to the point to where it runs on its own. Yes, it should be providing high quality to your customers and so forth. Yes, it needs to be doing all the things that you want it to do. But there's no reason why it shouldn't be a good B business for you, and it isn't dependent on you. And think about it. I mean, if something horrible happens, you were to pass away or anything like that, do you want it to go away at the same time? If you do, that's fine. But if you really think that you're providing a high-end product out there for people, or a service for people, wouldn't you want it to keep going beyond you? Wouldn't you want your kid? Don't you think your kids would want that to keep going? I mean, possibly you might want to leave it to your children or your grandchildren or what have you. It's just something to think about. System-based is huge. It's central to a lot of what I do, and a lot of what I help people to take themselves over to. That's a big piece of creating that dream business, is having a system-based business. So if you're let's just say you're in the self-reliance field. You own a business that helps people or encourages people to become more self-reliant, either in the way that you run your business or the products and services you provide. Then I'm going to suggest you go to dreambizchat.com. Do I have the thing here? Yeah, it's right here. dreambizchat.com. Go to dreambizchat.com. Right now, it's nothing but a application. You just fill out the application. That gives you a chance to be able to talk with me. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. What we can do, though, is in 45 minutes to an hour, we could sit down and go over the concept of what your dream business would look like to you, and we can actually map out the steps that it would take for you to get there. And you can walk away with that. I walk away with more knowledge about the industry, which I'm trying to learn more about it. So that's what I have for tonight. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about this one thing This one thing that half of us are genetically predisposed to suck at. But this one thing, if you can wrap your noodle around it, will dramatically change your business and your life forever if you could realize how important this third pillar of my 3 pillars is. We'll talk about that tomorrow. You have a great night.